Because I still have to talk about your incident with the Free March mission, the meeting at the Free March, whereby you're endangering.
That's personal.
Whereby you're endangering people's lives.
That's where you advise me personally. You know, that's where no one's there. It's just me and you advise me. Come on, it's always like that.
Where's he gone?
He helps me. You know, he advised me personally. He says, Ali, you should not have done that. Right there, you made a big mistake.
And you recognise it, though,
Ali didn't want to apologise.
You recognise it, though.
He doesn't apologise.
No, but you recognise it as a mistake, yeah?
No, of course not.
No? You want to talk about it now or privately?
Private.
Okay.
We did it.
Leave us
He didn't want
alone.
to apologise.
Should we go now?
We spoke with it.
We spoke.
Should we go now?
He did apologise.
He didn't. That hijab did to me.
No, hijab apologised.
But not Ali.
Hijab didn't work.
You're putting people's lives in danger. You should never have done
No one's
that.
life in danger.
I would never turn up to a Chelsea home game in a Millwall shirt. I just wouldn't do it.
That's you.
Unless
I
you
wouldn't do
had a
it.
gum shield.
I don't care what I've got in gum shield. I would never do that. I know what's going to happen. I'm not here to antagonise anybody. Hijab went there with gum shield and he had the wrong gum shield. I said to him last week, you see, my gum shields are gold.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't do with gold gum shields.
You're as bad
I
as
didn't do with
hijab.
gold gum shield. Well, he challenged me to a fight.
He wants to get knocked out in style. He's got
Knocked out in style.
But Ali said-
Ali, listen,
Ali said
hijab
to me-
couldn't be our pensioners.
Yeah, but Ali said to me that the
He couldn't be our pensioners. He
Ali
couldn't beat me
said
up.
that the
Here's
violence
a
would have occurred even if he wasn't there. That's what Ali said, didn't you?
No way.
What's it again?
No way.
You said the violence would have occurred even if you and hijab were not there. That's what you said.
Hijab went there and
Oh
challenged.
yeah, they were attacking.
Hijab went there and challenged a Millwall top firm boy. You know the guy in Millwall he challenged was a proper fighter, yes? That's why he's willing to fight him.
Yeah.
Now Hijab went there and challenged him to fight, not the other way around. Well, then why did Hijab go there challenging guys to MMA
He
fight?
didn't challenge him.
Yeah, I've heard it.
He didn't challenge him.
I saw the
He
video.
came and pushed that cameraman, and then he just said, "Look, if you want to go down that route, you can do it
But
legally."
why even mention having a fight?
No, why are you pushing our camera?
And then why is he standing
He
there
did
with gum
challenge. He
shield?
did challenge him, but it was
Exactly.
with
And
a
he pushed
wink
the
in his
camera, he pushed the
eye.
camera.
We can accept
No,
that.
he
But
pushed the
you
camera.
don't
Did
do
you see what he did to the
that. You
cameraman?
don't do that there. Because these guys already don't like Ali, and you've gone there with hijab, and
They invited me.
It was an
what is-
incendiary situation.
Exactly, and these guys have been watching the video with hijab going around bullying people.
didn't bully
So
anyone.
like you don't go
How's that
around
bullying?
making challenges like that.
It could have been a lot worse. My point was that the police
Especially
got,
to
my point was
MMA
that the police
fighter.
got attacked. The police actually got attacked
No,
Yeah.
as a consequence
Yeah,
of
hijab.
what happened.
Yeah, hijab punched him in the face.
Because of thugs.
Yeah, they were thugs.
They were thugs. We totally
Yeah,
agree.
but hijab was a thug as well. You shouldn't have
He's
gone
a bias.
there
No, he's
with a
not.
gum shield,
No, try it.
challenging people to fight. Now look.
I'm not even going to go there.
Why
It's
go?
so clear to the people.
Listen,
I'm not even going to argue
why
my
would
case.
you go to
I
a
agree
peaceful
with you.
I'm not even
event
gonna argue my
with
case.
gum shields and boxing gloves?
You didn't have boxing gloves.
I'm saying you might as well have. You might as well have. But why go to the gum shields?
That's like saying I got a bulletproof vest. Who's going to shoot me?
Yeah, but why? Yeah, but the police do.
Don't shoot me.
In case they get
I'm
shot.
tempted. You got a bulletproof
And you
vest.
was
I have to
hiding
shoot you.
behind
Look at
Lucy.
it.
It wasn't that he had it
What
carried,
kind of
it's that he
analogy
put
is
it
it?
in.
And the worst thing,
He put it in and he said, "I'm ready to fight, I'm ready
and
to
the
die."
worst
That
thing
was
is,
No, but they
and
said,
the
"We're gonna
worst
kill
thing
you."
is- And the worst thing
But that
is,
makes it worse, doesn't it?
and the
No,
worst
if
thing
someone's
is,
gonna say, "I'm gonna kill you,"
Ali
I'm
wasn't even
ready to
helping
fight,
him.
I'm ready to die.
Ali ran behind Lucy while his mates getting beaten up.
Yeah, but
That's a good mate.
But whatever makes you happy.
That's a
Whatever
good
makes
mate.
you happy.
Lucy.
Whatever
Lucy,
makes you happy.
There was a lot of them.
Lucy.
you're back.
Why
There was a lot.
hijab getting beaten up?
Whatever makes
That was
you
you're a
happy.
really
No,
good
I'm not
mate.
blaming you for that.
You're a really
Whatever
good
makes you
mate.
happy.
I would never do that.
Whatever makes you
I'd
happy.
be in there like
Would
300.
you poke?
Like 300
would you
fighters.
poke-
We're together.
Would you poke a dog that was barking like that? No.
You don't go.
And that's what they did. They
as I
poked the
said,
dog. They did poke the
as I
dog.
said, you don't go to a Chelsea game in a Millwall shirt.
Yes, yes.
You just don't do that.
Yes, Gandhi.
Yes? And on top of that, we've got old days pensioners beating him up. I mean, I saw an old guy, grey hair, bright,
Yeah, but he had
and he went
backing.
straight down in the.
He had like 500 people.
Yeah, other
doing the
people
same
with false teeth from the old days pension zone.
Yeah.
Hijab, you know
Gary's
what?
suggesting
And
you
you
would've
know
been
what?
doing it
The
on your
blessing was that day. He's lucky the real guy he challenged didn't have a chance at him. If that guy got cut loose, it'd have been all over. It'd have been
I have to say,
and
some
Probably
cameras
been-
to
It'd have been
jail.
A&E.
He did look a little. I did look a
It'd
little
have been
coward.
Every word you say don't
What's
mean
crazy?
nothing.
What's crazy to me is
just biased.
is when you say, you know, like they invoked this punishment to them, yeah. But when Tan's standing there,
Bro.
going hammer.
Do you take this guy seriously? I don't take anything seriously.
One second.
That's what I'm saying. Aki.
Are you suggesting we don't
even
think Tan
defend
is
our cause,
provocative?
Aki.
No, what I'm
This guy's
saying to you
biased.
is that
Absolutely
when,
provocative.
I'm saying when Tan is doing his thing, yeah,
calm.
swearing everything
comes
like,
defensive.
praise Tan, prophet Tan.
Exactly.
Oh, look how disgusting the Muslims are for giving him a little nudge.
Exactly.
But when these guys want to get battered, it's these lot caused it.
Oh, can I ask a question?
I said,
Can I
no,
ask
why
a
are you looking
question?
at him?
Okay, let me
I'm
ask you a
saying understand that.
Say what
Let me
it
do
is.
answer.
Say
Let me
what
do
it
it.
is.
Tan's provocative.
Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it.
The Tan deserves to get whooping.
Who's the same?
Does Tan deserve to get
Let me
whooping?
do
Yeah,
it.
but you're jumping there. I
Let me do
didn't
it.
say he deserved to get a whooping.
Brother,
I
brother.
said all he had to do was take the high
And he's
ground.
provoking it.
Brother,
and he-
He is.
I don't. Whatever this
One
guy
at a
says,
time.
I don't take him
And
seriously.
Listen, one at a time.
You have to take him seriously.
No,
He's operating under.
Hold on a second.
Brother, I'll tell you very seriously.
Tan
He's
is
a
not
bias
under-
source.
hold on.
I don't take him seriously.
Tan
I'm not even
is
going to
not
defend
under
my
guidance.
case. I'm not going to defend my cause. When it's a Muslim getting punched in the face, it's calm. You're to blame.
No, yeah, that's-
But when a Muslim hits back, oh, look at these
But
Muslims.
where was you, Ali?
Sharia
But where was
law.
you?
Let him say.
Lucy,
Let
Sharia
him
law.
let the white guy
Fam,
speak.
I'm
Let the white
not-
guy
I-
The white guy.
Even Rob did the same. Rob did the same as well, yeah? Okay. That's the thing. Guys, this is why I say to you, we are like, and people say I exaggerate.
What did
You
he
know
do?
the Jewish Holocaust?
What did he
The
do?
same is happening with the Muslims. It's slow because they see us as inhumane. So when we get attacked, it's like, oh, it's the Muslim. They must have done something. It
you're-
must be the Muslim. I'm telling you, I've said it before, yeah? We're going step closer to
Drawing
what
some
happened to the
conclusions
Jews.
there, that's not
Believe me, when you look into the media,
anybody seen the
how the
video?
Jews were treated,
Nobody
it's the
is
exact
saying-
same
Don't
thing.
compare it to the Jews.
Over here.
Nobody-
When that fight happened over
Ali, I'm
here,
gonna shut you down now.
Same thing.
you can shut. I'm not talking to you. When the fight happened here and the brothers attacked back here, why are you guys attacking back for? No, it's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. And you know what's sad? It's coming from a minority. That's what more sad. Because when Tommy deals with us, you're next. He's gonna say, Gary,
Why wasn't you helping your brother?
Gary, thanks for helping us. You're
wasn't
next
you
on the
helping your
boat. Yeah, time to go back to Africa. Yeah, time to go back. So
Why
the
wasn't
thing
you helping your brother?
is, you know what's sad? A minority
was
attacking
right.
another minority.
Right, here it is.
This is what's sad, yeah? So it's very clear. It doesn't need explanation. What happened on the day? Look at the excuse. He had a gum shield. What was you
I mean, look at this here, guys.
I wish I had a gum shield, but they were
This
going
is
to
the
kill
man
us.
here.
Almost like-
This is the man he was fighting. Look,
Dawah.
it's
So
an old.
I'm not talking to Gary. I'm not talking to Gary.
That's the man that
If
beat
anybody
hijab.
wants to ask questions,
That's the man that beat
I'm open.
hijab. And old age pensioner. Look.
Yeah, but there was a lot of them, Gary. Come on.
But he initiated the fight. It was him and him. Hold on a second.
It was scary, maybe that's correct.
It's just him and him fighting.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Right, next clip. He then goes, even the policeman gives him a palm strike. The policeman himself gives hijab a palm strike.
Get involved, Gary.
Gary, let the real G talk.
Now this, get out of the way, man.
Come here.
I want to know. I think we should get to the bottom of that.
He came in style.
I don't want to do this. No, I just had a question for
I'm interested in this.
Quickly.
Question for who?
You're saying that he should have walked away because he was denied speech
Yes.
in a freedom of speech day rally.
Okay, let's clear this up because I think there's confusion.
Go on.
Oh, guys, can we have a bit more space? Look,
Yeah, a little bit more space, sorry.
Everyone take 2
One
seconds.
step back.
It's getting very hot in
Number
here.
one, Ali is hypocritical. The first mistake in this entire thing was Ali's. And here's why. Let me explain why. The rally was set up for people to speak about freedom of speech. Every single speaker there was somebody who agreed with freedom of speech. Ali, by his own admission, does not agree with freedom of speech. This was not set up to have a discussion, a debate about whether freedom of speech or not. So Tommy and his crew were entitled and should have said at the very Twitter point, Ali, no thank you, we're not inviting you.
So why did they invite him?
Can I finish and I'll tell you.
I have
There
issues
was a
with this.
mistake.
I actually have issues.
No, there wasn't a mistake.
It's called a Trojan horse. Anybody watch a Trojan horse? That's what Annie. It was a trap.
So
And he fell for
Lucy,
it.
unfortunately, yes,
It's a trap.
exactly. in
And he
a
fell
sense.
for it. He
Lucy
fell for
made
the
a
trap.
mistake. There was a
Stupid.
very
Tommy fell
unjustified
before I
Lucy.
He set up.
He
He
felt that
didn't
before I
recognise
did.
it.
This would be a
Trojan
good
horse.
thing.
Watch the film.
And clearly it wasn't. So it was Lucy's mistake. So Ali came along, and then there was a second mistake of not allowing him to speak. So I do agree there were 2 mistakes by Tommy Robinson's side. 1, Lucy invited him, well, maybe 3. 2, when he got there, they said no. No,
There was a third
whatever the
mistake.
case
It actually was not a freedom of speech rally. It was basically all anti-Islam.
Exactly.
So Ali being there was relevant.
Can I add on to that? Add on to that.
Do you agree with what I'm saying?
In particular, right, we need to discuss the context of why this whole day was, created in the first place, right? Tommy was kicked off Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Twitter's a private platform, yes?
Hang on, no.
Let him finish,
They claim in the US that they're a public forum, so they know they're not private in the sense.
No problem.
They
Private
claim that they
No,
are
that's fine,
public
that's fine.
because of the tax implications and so on. So we've got to be careful.
No, that's fine. That's
Just
just that's absolutely
He's
fine.
going into tax. What's he going to do?
No worries. No.
Come on,
That's
it sounds so
fine.
petty.
They have terms and conditions, right?
Correct, yes,
You
they
have
do.
to
Talk about
abide
the
by those
tax
terms and
review.
conditions. Tommy Robson has violated at least 3 of those terms and conditions. Do they reserve the right to then take him off Twitter?
Yes, they do. It's a private thing in that sense.
So-
That's correct.
But he also has the right to protest that.
That's
right?
fine. That's fine. He should have done that. So in particular, I want to know, where's freedom of speech being cancelled? Where's freedom of speech been denied for Tommy Robson? Because the whole point of the day, is that his freedom of speech was denied. But you've just proven he violated terms and conditions leading to his sacking.
So it's not just his. So his rally, my understanding of his rally, is that freedom of speech in general, not just Tommy Robinson, but freedom of speech, for example, Lawrence Southern, these other conservative / right-wing people, they weren't allowed in. At no point have these people incited violence. If they had, then one could do that.
Not another fight.
So his whole freedom of speech rally
Gary, sorry out here.
other people who have been
Gary's
prevented
getting
from
his
coming to this
gumshoe
country, we don't have freedom of speech. So it wasn't just about Tommy
Gary,
So
put your gumshoes.
address you straight up in the sense of they don't incite violence.
Gary,
you know, they don't
put your gumshoe.
violate terms and conditions and stuff, right? In particular, I have three
I see your Muslim
instances,
brothers fighting.
in
I do
particular.
want to stop the fight.
One second.
Yes? You want to stand there and watch it.
Not just in terms of freedom of speech on Twitter, but just generally in general.
Who are you talking about?
You say that Tommy Robinson, not you in particular, but people say Tommy Robinson is not racist. Who goes around? Who goes around? Wait. Who goes around calling Muslims Muslims?
I don't know.
Who goes around
I
calling
don't know.
Muslims Muslims?
I don't know. I don't want to know. Which one is it? I don't know. I don't want to know.
Wait, let me finish.
You don't want to know.
No. Don't derail my point. Let me finish and don't derail my point. Don't derail my point, right? The reason he uses Musrats, right, is the same as what the Nazis called rats, Jews rats. That's exactly what they used to call them, to put them as low as the lowest common denominator as they can, so they can mandate the slaughter and murder of Jews later on in society. So I'm asking you in particular, concerned Muslims who have seen the practice happen historically and are asking Tommy, be a bit more considerate about the words you are using. If you have a problem with us, articulate.
Sure, I agree with that.
Articulate.
Sure.
There you go,
But
bro.
95% of the British people would agree with you.
I don't support anything.
Would agree with you.
100%.
Yeah.
I had to talk about British kind of like association and stuff like that.
But don't think that represents all British people. It does not.
Oh, thank God it doesn't. British people are lovely people, man.
Anyway, that's not
Well, you're probably stretching it a bit there, Ali.
I'll be
No,
honest.
I
I'll be
agree. In
honest.
particular, right? You say that the people who came to speak about freedom of speech and so on, right? Sargon of Akkad, you had Lawrence Southern. Well, Lawrence Southern's not here, but in particular,
she was
you
there spiritually.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
She
very
there
balanced,
spiritually.
was it?
Whatever. Yeah, exactly. So they often say, right, and they critique the left about this, and this is how they rose to fame, because I was one of their followers. But where I jumped off is where then they started selecting who in particular they started debating. They ridiculed the left for choosing who debated them, meaning that they couldn't challenge their narrative.
Sure.
They're doing the exact same right now. Now wait. Ali came, right, and he was invited. Whether or not it was a mistake, he was invited, right? And out of the spirit of freedom of speech, whether or not he was invited or not, surely they should have allowed him space to give an opposing answer. Now you say that Ali denies freedom of speech. Ali has only ever said that he condemns hate speech,
Yes,
right?
that's anti-free
But
speech.
when people, I was going to say in
Yes.
particular, when people debate about the freedom of speech, it's never been the right to openly offend.
Yes,
It's
it is.
never been that.
Yes, it is.
Read.
Can I say something?
Read,
Can I
sir.
say something?
Read.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen.
And if it isn't,
Can I
it
say
should
something?
be, so-
Can I say something? It's a freedom of
This year.
Look. If
The
it's a freedom of
statutes are very
speech
clear
event,
on free speech.
if it's a freedom of speech event, even if I oppose, if I came and said I'm 100% against freedom of speech,
gonna get the message.
no, let me say it. You have to be absolutely, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to say anything there. It's a freedom of speech event. Even if I disagree, the whole point is that you're going to say, I disagree with you, but I give you the
It
right
would
to come and
strengthen
talk.
the argument for free
therefore,
speech if
your
Ali was allowed to
argument-
speak.
your-
In my view. Yeah, in my view.
Your pathetic argument that, Ali, you did not believe in it. Why did you come? It's so pathetic because the whole
explained it to you.
point...
Have I not explained it to you?
Listen.
He's wrong.
The whole point of the event was freedom of speech. Was
Yeah,
it,
but
was it a
Ali, you
secret?
That looks
accept-
terrible
Was it a
on them.
secret?
That looks terrible on them.
One second. Can I make one? It was secret. Different people with all kind of backgrounds,
answer Rob gave is
yeah?
correct, but I
If you
don't
believe in
agree
freedom
with
of speech,
it.
and that's your premise. You believe it. I don't. I'm putting your premise to the test. You're saying freedom of speech. I'm like, okay, can I come? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. If they put me on stage, yeah, I would have said, you know what? I disagree with you, but at least I respect you're holding on to your grounds. The only person that stuck to it was Lucy, George, and Kaylin. Tommy thought, you know what? If this guy comes on stage,
all of this.
we might get a few shahadas, yeah, okay? He might say
Yeah,
something.
you're saying it all
So he was
again.
like, nah, bun this,
We
yeah.
all know this.
So Rob, let me tell you something, yeah. With all due respect, yeah, you have double standards, okay? If that was Tommy Robinson coming to an event of Muslims, yeah, and the Muslims did that to him, oh my gosh, bruv,
Rob doesn't have a double
you would
standard, he has a
dedicate 10
specific
series videos for that. I swear to God, you guys would rinse it like it's no
We
tomorrow.
don't even have to fantasize it.
But
We don't even have to
listen,
fantasize it.
when it's Muslims, look at it, look how they try to brush under the carpet, look how they try to get this happened, that happened, Mohammed Hijab's gone. Imagine Tommy Robinson coming to an event, imagine Tommy Robinson, there you go, see? Yeah, I'm like this, to you I'm like this, yeah? Because every time you come, you get debunked, debunk,
Can I
so you get hurt.
quickly?
Imagine Tommy Robinson coming to an event with a gum shield, yeah? Do you know what his followers would have said? Of course, he had a right to protect himself. But when it's a Muslim...
I need to comment on this. I need to comment on this. So, in particular,
Do you understand?
Wait, let Rob come back.
Okay.
Go on, Rob. What you got to say to that?
I've explained it to you.
He's got nothing to say to him.
The mistake in Ali, this was not a free speech event that anybody can come and speak on the stage. It's a free speech event, i.e. somebody can come in the audience, no problem.
I was invited.
Quickly,
I understand you're invited. Why do you keep shouting that as if nobody here knows that you're invited?
Then why are you
It's like a child shouting in here.
Sir,
But are you acknowledging
understand what you're trying to say?
Yes, I've acknowledged it. How often do I do
I understand what you're trying to say in particular. The premise
Can you
was set.
explain it to your
No,
brother?
I understand the premise was set, right? He says the premise in particular was a certain way and they wanted it a certain way, right? And I understand that. I understand that.
But you know they told me what to say. They said to me, what are you going to
I
speak
want to
about?
get to that. I
said I'm not going to talk about
Let me
Islam.
get
They
to
shouldn't have to ask you.
Let me get to that, please. In particular, right? You can't make your whole kind of doctrine around the freedom and the entirety of freedom of speech, and then make an event saying that only certain people are allowed to speak. And then let's carry on in particular.
You can, but it's not
when
good.
Ali was possibly offered the opportunity to speak, what did they say to him? Please don't mention Allah. What?
Terms and conditions.
Please don't mention Allah. Do you agree with that?
No.
Can you tell me why in
Especially when the
particular you were
opposition
told to
mentioned
not to
Islam,
mention
well,
Allah?
I don't know why it's not to mention Allah. My point was, the bigger point was he shouldn't have been invited in the beginning. After that, there was a mistake and it was
I'm gonna go,
compounded
yeah?
after that.
Allah says in the
He's not
Quran, when
prepared
truth is
to-
spoken, falsehood
I don't
perishes.
expect
Because by nature it's bound to perish. I'm going to let you deal with it, yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Style, like the way you
Let's have
dress.
some- You're more articulate.
Go
Nothing
on,
gets
go on,
through there. It
go on.
bounces off. It's like-
No, I'm being honest. I'm being honest now. If generally, right, they do believe about the entirety of freedom of speech, it would have bettered their message in particular if they invited more speakers who oppose them in particular, and
Left,
in particular with
right,
their hate, yes, left, right, or
black,
whatever.
white,
but always
Muslim,
saying,
Christian.
exactly, always saying, and the thing is about freedom of speech, right? It's a freedom of flow of information as well. You can't restrict and keep certain information away from people. You have to be able to open up
That's a
in
diff-
particular,
you can do an
right?
event like
No, you seem to have a certain interpretation of what freedom of speech is. You want the freedom to be completely free about everything, right? I'm sorry, the world doesn't work like that, and it progresses around conversation. The conversation around freedom of speech is a progression of society, not the freedom to do whatever you will. That's not how society works. No.
But to say
But you did
almost
say
anything, there's a
to say almost anything.
Correct.
But who defines that? You.
The statutes.
Well, ideally me or anybody that wants to have a rational
But why do
discussion.
you have the
No,
power?
but the
Wait,
statutes
let me
are
show
in
you
place.
why.
Exactly. Why do you have
very
more
clear.
power? Why do you think you have more virtue than the people who have already put
Good,
the
so-
statutes in
because we
place?
can-
Why do you feel like you
we
have
can
more
have a
virtue?
discussion
Because we live in
around
a
this.
democracy.
Partly that, but we can have a rational discussion. Let me put it this way. If I was Prime Minister, I would remove all hate speech laws immediately. We have harassment on the books already that covers anything that would incite somebody from a verbal thing. This hate speech thing is a destruction of freedom of speech and our society.
we don't have hate speech.
Disagree.
And
I absolutely
okay, let me
disagree.
show you why.
Disagree.
Let me see if you're consistent. Are you going to be consistent?
Go ahead.
Okay. I could claim, and I don't, but I could claim that Islam is hateful. It divides people. It says that certain people will not go to heaven, only certain people go to hell. I can choose using these hate speech rules to say, hey, I think Islam is hateful. I do not want it to be spoken in public. If you agree with me, you'll never speak about Islam in public. I will never criticize the Prophet
That's
of Islam.
fine, that's fine, I
Would you
agree.
accept that we can do the same with Islam?
The reason I agree with you in particular is because I have the freedom to intellectually search up and to be like debunk your whole thesis in general, right?
But
So
you're
if you were
consistent,
to
that's
say
the
no,
main
100%. If you were to say to me that Islam was a hateful religion and it preaches this and that, I would then ask you what passages in particular.
Yes,
And then if you can't quote the passages and I rebuke you, right, in terms of with context, exactly with context, right? Are you then going to change your mind, or like the rest of everyone, are you just going to continue spouting the
you
same
could-
nonsense? Because wait for it. Ali Dawah in particular, right, has faced a number of people, right, never been able to provide a passage in context of the Quran stating be violent towards.
But it's not just about the passages.
Yeah, no, I understand. Wait.
have to understand
Don't get me wrong. People.
It's about actions.
Everyone has critiques. 100%, I agree in particular. But we're talking about in general.
But Ali talks about the
branding
passages.
basically tarring the brush of the whole religion, right? So in particular, I was saying this the other day to someone, not the other day, just the other thing. If you give a hammer to a kid, right? Destruction is going to happen. It's a tool. It's a tool for creation. It's also a tool for destruction. Yes.
Sure, but you can teach people how to use it, right?
Exactly. But if someone doesn't have the knowledge and doesn't have the spiritual awareness to use it, what do you think is going to happen?
Then we should not allow them to use the hammer anymore.
Okay, cool. No worries. No worries.
The question is, why don't they have it?
So let me ask you. No. Answer my questions before you derail me, please. All right? In particular, is it the hammer's fault? Right? Is it the hammer's fault or is it the child's fault?
It depends what the scenario is. What is it that you're talking about? What's your context?
If a child takes a hammer, right, you've given a child a hammer and it whacks itself over the head with it, causes itself tremendous brain damage, whose fault is it?
No,
parents.
it's not the hammer's fault.
The parents.
I definitely agree with that.
It's education.
So when we're talking about the Quran in particular, right, there's people who have a healthy mindset and they use the Quran to further fulfill themselves, right? And there's people who already don't have good intentions, take the Quran and use it as justification for X, Y, and Z, despite various Muslims providing passages and contradictions to say that this is not the way of Islam.
Sure, but
so give me 2 seconds. Taking that whole complex diaspora of people and opinion into consideration, tarring them with one brush, it's just being stupid. It's that. It's simple as that. And freedom of speech is not the right to be stupid. It's not the freedom to be stupid. It's the freedom to search up the information and come up with an intellectual answer. And sorry,
I was going to say it's the freedom to be stupid, to be smart, to say the wrong thing, the right thing.
Here's the thing.
And
You say this. You say this in particular, right? Germany executed one of its, I think it was
Germany has hate speech laws.
100%.
Very bad ones, in my view.
Do you not understand why? Do you not understand why?
I understand why, but it makes no sense to me. I understand why they do it, but it has the reverse effect. It's counterproductive.
I'm pretty sure a majority of Jewish people would disagree.
No, I don't think that's true.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true. But
I think they would prefer those people to expose themselves for being Nazis, and that's a much better thing than keeping them underground, where they could get momentum and start the whole bloody thing over again.
How did that work out for them in the Second World War?
Well, you're talking about an isolated situation, and then you're talking about looking back on it afterwards.
It's only isolated when it's right. No, sorry. The Jews were being persecuted across the country.
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't just Germany.
I'm not denying that. I'm talking about that.
It was isolated.
No,
it wasn't isolated.
No, but that particular persecution.
Why do you think we have Israel today?
I understand. They were persecuted since the Crusades.
Say that again?
Would hate speech laws stop the Holocaust?
Hate speech law would start the process in where people start to realize that their thoughts and actions have repercussions. By starting that, you start a consensus where people start to question whether or not what they're doing is right or wrong on a moral basis. So in particular, just cancelling hate speech is a symptom of what could possibly result in a good thing. But when wait.
But they can't express themselves.
Give me an instance where hate speech has ever produced positive results.
Positive results?
Yeah.
Well, define hate speech first.
Say that again?
Define hate speech first. Most of the things I hear being called hate speech, I don't understand. Well, what is hate speech? What is hate speech? Can someone define it?
It doesn't really exist here.
Hate speech is just morphed into something people find offensive.
It's just more comments in Nazi Germany wouldn't be considered hate speech in that context.
So a situation where jokes
people were heavily censored.
Do you know why that's a bit of a problem? In particular, it's because we had various people, right, who were Jewish sympathizers. Now that means that there's a contrast between the two. There's a contrast, right? There's people who understood hate speech and the pure immorality that, burdened the Jews.
Shame.
And then there's people in particular who just thought hate speech was a thing. So there's a comparison between the two. To say that the Germans just accepted it and there's no kind of accepting of responsibility, it's completely irresponsible.
I'm just saying, what I'm saying is what constitutes hate speech depends on what values a society has.
You're saying what constitutes hate speech?
And in Germany it would have been made legal
What kind of
anyway.
definition are you looking for?
And as far as for me, it's not like in Nazi Germany, you had free
direct incitement of violence. That's what hate speech used to be.
propaganda.
And it seems that hate speech is morphed into this kind of politically correct. If you offend anyone,
It's taken away responsibility from the individual, isn't it?
What underneath it.
You do understand? No. You do understand, right? That
It's taking
when
away
it comes to like
responsibility.
supposed assault, physical assault, verbal assault, or whatever, they define it as harshly as there's fighting words, meaning that you can have the law.
No.
The law, fighting words.
Fighting words.
I know it because my girlfriend studies law.
Inciting criminality, inciting racial hatred. They're the two things.
If you say anything that can be taken as verbal fighting words, someone is
If you're inciting
liable,
violence,
someone is
you are inciting
to defend themselves of your words. Now, in particular, right, after the Anders Breivik situation, where Anders Breivik murdered 77, we can get into that in particular, right? How he was bred of this ideology, right, where we allow freedom of hate speech and so, right? And that led him to murder 77 plus Norwegians, right? In order to stop Muslims from coming abroad. How does that make sense? Would you say that's a positive?
They're not connected.
No, of course not a positive outcome.
No, I understand. But it's not the cost of free speech. It's not the cost.
But free speech didn't cause that to happen,
The cost of free speech is Malcolm X. It's Malcolm X being assassinated. It's Martin Luther King being assassinated for wanting the right of everyone in general. That's the sacrifice of freedom of speech.
Let's talk about that.
Killing people, right, randomly because you believe an ideology is outbreeding your race in particular. When all it comes down to is that you're not having enough kids. That's all it is. That's not a feasible argument. That's not feasible. Anders Breivik believed that basically the Muslim population was coming over, right?
Oh, okay, right, yeah, sorry. Okay, so
jumped a bit there.
So 2018, my thing is hate speech as an umbrella term is being stretched and abused.
I can
right? And so are you up to speed with the Count Dankula?
Oh,
right. So what's your opinion on the Count Dankula?
I'll give you this. With Count Dankula, right? I don't agree with what he did. I do think the actions were a bit like, really, like prison action and stuff like that. But you need to remember, the laws around the laws. No, let's be honest. The laws and the awareness around anti-Semitism are a lot more up to speed than it is Islamophobia. Would you agree?
Yeah.
If you say anything, when you say I understand.
When you say up to speed, I don't agree with any of those things.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, you can say that all Muslims, all grooming gangs are a problem of Muslim culture, right? And people will say, oh, you're not racist, you're just saying how it is. No, I understand.
Disproportionate.
I'll come to you. Don't worry, I'll come to you. But in particular, right, if you were to question whether or not the numbers, right, of Jews killed during the Holocaust was actually completely accurate, you're anti-Semitic.
Well, it's actually illegal to say that in Germany.
Can you tell me why there's such a vast difference?
If I doubt the number,
it's like ruling out in Germany.
If I was in Germany, I'd probably be arrested.
No, it's not just Germany, it's here. This is why Jeremy Corbyn is going under scrutiny.
I think you should be arrested.
So why are you guys speaking about that?
Denying the
You can't be arrested for denying the Holocaust.
We're saying freedom of speech.
In Germany,
We're
not here.
not this stuff.
Where?
We are, this gentleman here.
So you support all the not support, but in particular, you're critical of all the anti-Corbyn rhetoric that's saying that he allows anti-Semitism to reign through the Labour Party.
Let me put it in my own words. They are entitled to say so Corbyn is entitled to say his quote-unquote anti-Semitic stuff. And that's, I think, what this gentleman says as well. He can say that, like, and you haven't answered the question, but Count Dankula, gas the Jews.
No, I was coming to him. I don't jump around, man. I answer questions. I finish. So if you want to ask me, then that's all good, but don't...
I know you've got a lot of people asking questions. No, I was just saying, so do you think he should have been prosecuted at all?
In particular, I don't think that was something worth prosecution. Maybe a slap on the wrist, a little fair warning. In particular, I don't see why you taught your dog to do the Nazi salute.
It doesn't matter.
I understand. No. Wait.
Precedent has now been set.
No. I understand.
When you say slap on the wrist from who?
Say that again?
When you say you should have got a slap on the wrist, a slap on the wrist from who? Who should have been giving him a slap on the wrist?
Do you want various definitions for everything I'm saying?
No, but who in particular? I don't think the state has any business
to come back with this definition.
So with YouTube, right? If I put a video on YouTube, you could be offended if you want to be offended.
If I put something
but should the police be coming in and having a word with me? Is that appropriate? I think it's overreach.
That's why I said a slap on the wrist.
From who though?
Do we not have public backlash?
I'm fine with public backlash.
There we go.
Is that what you mean?
That's what I want to know. Is that what you mean?
Okay, yeah.
I don't think the state should be getting involved in this kind of thing. That's what I mean. I don't think the state should be getting involved in the hate speech. If there wants to be a public backlash, then that's fine. That's organically going to happen. But I don't think it's the job of the police or the state to be intervening.
Nothing good comes of it.
But this is again where I would ask in particular, where does the the equality come in? Because Anjem Chowdhury was charged with pretty much the same thing, but no one said anything when Anjem Chowdhury was just preaching that, you know what? People are trying to defend.
Nobody had a problem with Anjem Chowdhury.
Oh, come on.
No, he was not arrested because what he said. He was arrested because he was inciting violence.
He was arrested.
He was encouraging young brothers to go and join up, and that was incitement of violence. That was why he was arrested. He can say what he wants. He can come up and call me a dirty whatever he wants. It's fine.
How was he inciting brothers?
He was apparently he was encouraging brothers to take up arms.
Tell me where this is. Can you show me the articles? Can you show me the reports?
I accepted the reports. If you're suggesting that,
I've checked it.
You're saying there was
the same way Tom Robson. I've checked it, and in particular, I don't agree with Adam Chowdhury. I thought
so you're saying they present okay, that's fine. But you're saying they presented no evidence in court.
Say that again?
You're saying they presented no evidence in court.
I'm saying they presented evidence that, in particular, you're now disputing shouldn't really be evidence used against inciting violence.
I'm saying that they couldn't have used hate speech.
Andres Breivik came over here and he was mentored by the EDL.
What was Anjem Chowdhury found guilty of?
Say that again?
What was Anjem Chowdhury found guilty of? You said you did.
Wasn't it like murder? It wasn't terrorism, funny enough.
So
it wasn't terrorism, so...
I don't mind if Anjem Chowdhury comes here and spews it, as long as he doesn't incite direct
That's good.
violence.
I look forward to seeing you on his legal team.
Why am I going to be on the... Okay,
No, so Count Dankula. Can I finish the Count Dankula thing quickly?
Okay, everybody hijack our conversation.
Let me do it one at a time. So with the Count Dankula thing, right? In particular, like I said, I felt it was a bit extraordinary. It's not something that you wish you'd flick on Channel 4 News or whatever and be like, a dude has gone to jail for a YouTube video of a dog doing the Nazi salute. Now in particular,
it's not a minor thing. It's precedent.
But in particular, right? Do we not value progressing in society in general?
Yeah, free speech is progressive.
He said no. He said in particular, right? He did it to upset his liberal girlfriend, right? Why did he do it to upset his liberal girlfriend? Because he knows the connotations of the history behind that salute.
Yeah? He knows it's an example of a clearly foreign thing, so he's doing it as a joke.
I understand.
He's a comedian.
Right. You've got to put it in context, right? Just because you say something which is a very bad joke doesn't make it frigging illegal. And if you go down that route, if you seriously go down that route, you are asking for all sorts of problems.
Yes.
Major problems. If you seriously want to turn your head around to the idea that a bad joke is illegal, then you're on a slippery slope.
I'm giving you an example. We've just mentioned Andres Breivik, right? We just mentioned Andres Breivik, and that's an example, right? Of freedom of speech at its fullest, right? The ability to say and express what you want,
and that's fine.
No, that's fine. In your words, that's fine. Give me an example. Give me an example, right? Where the lack or the monitoring, right, of the speech that people do has resulted in the death of people.
If any speech has resulted in the death of somebody, it's because the person who's received that speech was screwed up in the first place. I watched loads of films about people getting shot up left, right and centre. How many, I can't remember, is it Jean-Luc Godard said that a good film is about a gun? Yeah? There's so many films you see about shooting, dying and all that sort of palaver. It doesn't incite people to go around doing murder.
If people are so
people are so sick in the head that they're going to follow and they lack reason. If people lack reason in their minds, okay, it's not the person who's giving the message a problem, it's the person who's receiving the message.
But is it the context or is it the words? Is it the context or is it the words? Because if it's the words, then Islam's got a problem. If it's the context, then Dankula's the same as Islam, right? Because if you're talking, that's what you're saying, right? You're saying it's the words, not the context.
But here's the thing in particular.
You've got to answer that question.
You say no, it's fine. The context of the words, right?
It's important.
I think it's go down that road.
I think it's a mix of both.
Dankula guy would be arrested.
We are saying it's the context. We are saying specifically it's the context, which is what you would argue if you were justifying the Islamic text and saying it wasn't violent. You would say, look, the interpretation's wrong. And we're saying the Dankula interpretation is wrong. So it's the same deal, I think.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to say in particular, right? The association and the history behind that salute, is it one that we really make big talk about? Do we really do you go to a dinner table, Heil in salute, and say, that's a joke? Do you go to random churches, right, with an AK-4 and be like, I'm dressing up as Dylan Roof? Would you do that as a joke?
No, but we recognise
that. I don't find that funny.
But why wouldn't you do it? For the sake of freedom of speech, why wouldn't you do an actual AK. No, a joke AK. Because I don't want him to think I'm about to murder him. Why would that ever be funny? It's a rubbish prank. It's a rubbish prank, and I don't think tricking people into believing they're going to die is
But here's the problem. Here's my problem.
Wanting to offend someone is not the same as making it illegal.
That whole thing in particular, right, was made for his girlfriend. That's it. Yep. Not for anyone else. His girlfriend. He then went to put it on YouTube. If it's for your girlfriend, why are you putting it on YouTube?
I think he put it on YouTube. Someone else.
I don't know.
He posted it online. The content originated from him. It would have had to get onto a computer from his source in order for it to distribute.
Let's run with that.
So in particular, right, why then share it with the rest of the world if it's a private joke? Because let's be honest, we all do wrong things in private corridors.
Let's say it's not private.
That's his personal choice, though, right?
He did a joke and wanted to make it public. Okay, now what? He made a joke and he wanted to make it public. Let's just say that. I don't care if it's private.
It was funny.
It's irrelevant. So he made a joke, made a video, he made it public.
It was funny. A lot of people liked it. I thought it was funny.
I didn't actually laugh when I watched it.
This is exactly where I'm talking about. When we talk about freedom of speech, when the intellectuals back in the day who gave us the right to have this freedom of speech, right?
That's exactly
it wasn't us. It wasn't the working
I don't think they
class
realised that it could be used against
got
them.
the ability to speak so and so. It was the deliberating middle class and the upper class who decided that wait for it. They won't listen. The middle class and upper class decided that every man should have the right to speak and say his mind in the progress of the conversation. That is what they determined and that's what they defined, right? Please tell me what is progressive,
even if it wasn't an offence,
about
even if it wasn't a choice,
salute
I would still
I don't know why we have to continue
that's how you
the sentiment of free
educate. That's how you learn.
speech origination.
How are we supposed to teach in school about Nazism?
To write up a paper, to dispute it, but as of now you haven't. And right now the laws that are in place, are centered towards progressing our society. That is what has been put.
Well, this term progressive is very subjective.
But
I don't think it's progressive. I think it's very
that's
regressive.
subjective to yourself.
Exactly. But then this is why progressivism shouldn't be put into law. It clearly isn't been decided. We clearly aren't unanimous in agreement what hate speech is and progressive. This is why the regressive is called the regressive, right? It's disputed heavily.
So we're going to want it back, right?
I'm going to come on to that. But in particular, right, that the onus is then on you to then go through the right
because he says it's not contextual. He wants to say the words. He is, right?
Deliberation between back and forth and intellectuals, right? Yeah, but no, YouTube is not going to help that in particular. There's avenues that we can take if you want that to change. But like you just said, it is subjective. So your freedom of speech is never going to be everyone else's freedom of speech. And the same as me, the same as him, the same as X, Y, and Z. So this is why they've come up with a middle ground. Just because it's now hip to be edgy doesn't give it the right.